We have a great kids questionnaire that I'd like for you to have your children fill out. This would be something really powerful for you to do on maybe a family night, and just make copies of this download that you can take and give to each of your children. In it is an opportunity for you to survey them and see how they feel about the priorities in your life. There's a place for them to put a plus sign beside the thing that they feel like that they are more important to you than, say, for Dad. I feel more or less important to my dad than his tools or than his work, or I feel more or less important to my dad than to his relationship with Mom or his relationship with God. There are some things that you want your child to feel less important to you than, because those things are a higher priority. Mom and Dad, your relationship is the most important relationship in the family. It is the priority relationship. We live in a culture that has become child-centered. We've put our children in the center. We've made them the most important thing in the world. And it's so easy to do. Rhonda and I fell into it absolutely, because our first child needed everything. They cannot do anything on their own. We had to put all of our attention on the baby. But as that baby got older, we continued to make that baby the center of our relationship, the center of our family. Every other part of our relationship was put on the back burner or secondary to our child. And guys, I can't tell you, there is probably no greater form of child abuse in our land than making a child feel like they are the center of the universe. Man, what are they going to find out when they actually grow up and go out into the real world? They're going to find out they're not even close to the center of the universe. They are just a little tiny speck on this giant universe, and man, they are going to be so disappointed. We end up dooming our children to absolutely horrible relationships because they've grown up thinking they're the center of the universe, that when they said jump, everybody around them in the family said how high. They've never learned to be a giver. They never saw themselves, they never saw others as more important than themselves. They were trained that they were the center. And so they end up having horrible relationships. They end up having horrible marriages. They become a horrible boss, okay? They become a really horrible employee. They see themselves as being the center, and they really aren't. And so what we want to do is communicate to our children that you are a welcome member of the family. You're not the center of our family. Mom and Dad's relationship is the priority relationship. And we prove that by we going on a date night. And I mean, I've seen it where Mom and Dad start to hug, and the children want to jump in there and break up the hug. I want you hugging me. No, honey, I'm going to hug your dad. I'm going to hug your mom. Our relationship is the most important relationship in this family. And so that's why we're going to go on a date night. And then they may be crying, I don't want you to go. I don't want to stay with a babysitter. I'm so sorry. But our relationship is the most important relationship. I'm just telling you, that will give them such safety, such security. The most valuable thing you can do to build up your kids. For you single parents, I want you to know this, that your relationship with God is your priority relationship. That you continue to also build up their father, that you build up their mother, you single dads. I want you to be focused on the fact that you've got to build her up. You don't ever want to put your children in a situation where if they say something good or kind or wonderful about the absent spouse, that they're somehow being disloyal to you. No, you want to build them up. You want that child to be incredibly proud of the absent parent. You want them to feel good about that absent parent. That's so important. They have a position, just like we want to build up and lift up the office of our president. We don't want to tear down the office, the person of authority. We don't want to tear down the office of a police officer. They have a position of authority in our community. We don't want to talk about a police officer and then our children end up having contempt for those people that are in those positions. Thus, we should never want our children to have any contempt for that absent parent. We want them to honor them, love them, build them up. Unconditional honor and respect is what will bless your children, your family. That is what God's called us to do. So I want you to download the questionnaire, go through this with your children. Don't be defensive. Just say, kids, I want you to be honest with us. Fill this out not the way you think we want to hear it, but the way you really feel. Pray before you do this, because this will be a great opportunity for you to build your relationship with your children.